Hey YouTube, it's your girl Dr. J, and this is one of the few non-homeschool related videos that I'm going to be doing. I don't do these a lot, but I wanted to do a review of the 21-Day Fix program. The reason why I decided to do a review of the program is that when I saw the infomercials and I started to get interested in the program, I went on YouTube and a few other places to try to find reviews. And almost all of the reviews that I came across were from people who were Beachbody coaches. And I was really looking for reviews from people who weren't affiliated with Beachbody or the program at all. And so I said I was going to go ahead and take a chance and get the program, but I was going to make sure to put my review out there so there would be some unbiased reviews if people were interested in the program and wanted to hear from somebody who didn't have just any affiliation whatsoever. So I'm not a Beachbody coach. I'm never going to become a Beachbody coach. I am not a 21-Day Fix coach. I'm never going to be a 21-Day Fix coach. And I purchased the program with my own funds. It wasn't something that was sent to me free for a review or anything like that. And so if you are not really familiar with the program, the 21-Day Fix is a full kind of health program. It's weight loss based, but it's really about kind of lifestyle change. And there are different components to the program. It has an eating component side, a kind of whole food nutrition side, and a exercise side. So basically, the big thing that you're going to have is you're going to get the 21-Day Fix eating plan with this booklet. And in this booklet, it's going to give you all the information that you need for your eating plan. And I will say this book it's fabulous because it really helped me out. The first thing you have to do is you have to figure out how many calories you get, because that tells you what kind of container box you'll be using. You don't count calories with this program, which is fabulous, but it's just going to tell you kind of the range that you're going to be in. So I was, because of my weight, I was in the lowest calorie range box, so that is the 1,200 to 1,499 calories range. But again, you're not going to be counting calories. You're really going to be using boxes. But it was really good to kind of see where you fit. It tells you how many of each box that you get. And some other things, I would say, if you get the program, read this book first. Read it all the way through, because if you don't, you'll miss out on some really good things. Like your treats. Okay, but basically what I mean by how many boxes you get these different boxes, and each box is a different color and a different size, and the colors are coordinated to what type of food group that you'll be eating from the box. And so your green is your veggies, and the good thing about the program is it just tells you exactly what to do. So you measure your food into the box, and as long as the box can close, you can eat it. So if it fits in here and if it's in the right category, you can have it. So green is for veggies. Purple is for fruit, and this is kind of a size comparison. Red is protein. Yellow is carbs and starches. Blue is healthy fats. And orange is seeds and sauces. Something that does not come with the program, but you keep track of, is teaspoons, because for me, I got 2 teaspoons a day of things like healthy oils like coconut oil or olive oil, or you would have peanut butter, could go in here, or like little mini chocolate chips or something like that. So you can use that. And also, another thing that I use, this is a half a tablespoon, but you get 2 tablespoons of sweetener, and I'll tell you how that comes into play. Another thing that comes with the program is a Shakeology bottle for mixing shakes, and you get a couple of sample packets, I think, if you order from Beachbody. I ordered directly from Beachbody. I know you can get the program off of Amazon as well. I'm not sure. I know the shaker comes with it, but I'm not sure if any samples of Shakeology come with it. And how you know kind of what to put in your boxes is that on each page, like this is for the green container, it not only gives you ideas of what to put in the box, but they're written in order of how good they are for you. So at the top is things like kale and spinach and collard greens. Where at the bottom, it's things like lettuce, and it says not iceberg, and, you know, radishes and sprouts. So basically, not only does it give you suggestions for what sort of foods to put in there, it'll let you know how you can kind of rank those foods in your mind. And vegetables kind of isn't that big of a deal. I think the one that was the most was the yellow container, because it lets you know that at the top, that's going to be things like sweet potatoes, yams, quinoa. And then towards the bottom, that's where you're going to find your breads, your bagels, your tortillas, that sort of thing. Things that don't fit in the box, like a tortilla is not going to fit in this box. You don't want to have to fit it in this box. So it'll let you know that for a tortilla, if it's whole wheat, you get one small, about 6 inches. And if it's a corn tortilla, you get 2 small, about 6 inches each. So it lets you know things like that, so you don't have to cut up all your food. Like, no, you're not going to cut up a hamburger patty or something like that and try to fit it in the box. But it'll give you an idea of what to do. One of the things that I really liked about the eating portion of the program was that I could eat real food. I could eat the foods that I wanted. So there was nothing telling me that I had to eat cottage cheese or I had to eat radishes or something like that I wouldn't normally eat. It was telling me how to eat things that I wanted. So it told me, yeah, you like this kind of food, but here's the type of portions that you're going to use for it. One thing that you can do is substitute out a red container for a whole food nutrition drink. That's where your container comes in. It advertises Shakeology. Shakeology is a whole food kind of powder that you mix with water or milk or something like that. And it's good. A lot of people say it's good. You have to order it from Beachbody or from a Beachbody coach or distributor. It is expensive. So I did not use Shakeology in the program. What I use is Vega 1. And I had the sample packets of Shakeology that came with the program. And I saw that they were very similar in the calories, what was in it, the vitamins and nutrients, everything was very similar. So I went ahead and went with Vega 1. And plus, Vega 1 is vegan, so if I wanted to keep it vegan, I could do that. Another thing I did, this was my treat daily. I look forward to my shake, especially after my workout. And what I do is I make a mocha shake. So I'll mix it with iced coffee and almond milk, and it's just fabulous. I usually just drink the chocolate. There's different flavors, even for Shakeology. There's different flavors. There's vegan options if you're vegan. So it's good. I have nothing against Shakeology. I did taste one of my sample packets. It was fine. I just wasn't willing to pay what it would cost to do Shakeology, because you drink that shake every day, and the cost to me was just I wasn't willing to pay that. But that's another big part of the program as well. I also took a multivitamin. The reason why, and it wasn't like Beachbody sells a multivitamin. I did not take a Beachbody multivitamin. I took a vitamin organic vitamin that I had. And the reason is because whenever you're losing weight, that means that you are taking in less calories than you put out. And so you're kind of at a nutrient deficit. And so in order to kind of balance that, I took a multivitamin as well. Another part of the program is your workouts. And so what came with mine was this video set. It was flat abs and bare legs. And you can see it's still in the packet. I didn't touch it. But I did do the 21-day fix workouts, disc 1 and disc 2. And the way that the 21-day fix works is that you exercise 7 days a week for 30 minutes each time. So you have an active recovery day, which means that, yeah, you're doing something that's not making you sweat as much, but you are still working out every day. And the workouts are tough. I love them. I went from, I was a walker. I walked a lot. I'm thinking of Walking Dead. Yeah, that's how I felt after I did the first program. I felt like a walker from The Walking Dead after I did the first workout. But really, all I used to do really is just walk, and not very fast. I am really slow. I'll do 1 mile races, and I'm the last person to finish the 1 mile last person to finish a 5K. So I wasn't a really active person. And these workouts kicked my butt. They were only 30 minutes, but whoa. Like the first day is cardio. Then the second day is upper fix. So you're doing your arms and abs. The next day is lower. Then day 4 is Pilates, which is kind of an active recovery day. And then day 5 is another cardio. 6 is called the Dirty 30. So it's just really, really tough, really grinding it out. And then your day 7 is yoga. The third week of the program is designed to do 21 days, so 3 weeks. That's considered a round. And then if you start a new round, that's starting another 21 days. Your third week of it, day 15 through 21, you're supposed to do 2 workouts a day, one in the morning. And they tell you how to do that. Yeah, I did that like once, and then I just went back to my 1 a day, because the things that you're doing, they're so tough. But the good thing is that there is a modifier. Kat, the modifier, I'm telling you, she will become your best friend. If I ever see her on the street, I'm going to give her a hug and let her know that she saved me time and time again, because she modifies all the exercises. Because with the program, there's all these really fit people, and they're doing, they're just, planking to their heart's content and burping to their heart's content. And it was me and Kat kind of walking our way through it. So girl, I love you. But but the programs, the exercises are great. I love that they're only 30 minutes, because I'm busy, wife, mom, homeschool, all that kind of stuff. I work. In addition to homeschooling, I work full time, and so I didn't have a whole lot of extra hours in my day. So, but I could find 30 minutes, and that was something that I really loved as well. So I love these workouts. I will continue with these workouts all the way through. Another thing that I like about the program is that there's the after the fix. So once you've met your goals that you set for yourself, it tells you what do you do next, and that is, it tells you how much you can bump up your food boxes. I think my fruit box bumped up 1. My veggie box bumped up 1. I got 4 teaspoons. So when I'm not doing my rounds, that's what I do. So now for how did the program work? Well, when you start the 21-day fix, you have a start here guide, and it tells you how to start out, and what you can do. There's a little like boost program you can do. I didn't do the boost, but what you do is you start with your measurements. You take your measurements and you put them all in there. And I'm so glad that I went ahead and did it, because the results were really, really a big deal. So I'll be honest with you guys and let you know how I started. So I started at 145.8 pounds. So and for some people, they'll be like, that's not that much. But when you are 5 feet tall, yeah, that's that much. And when I took my measurements today, I was 133 pounds. So when I weighed today, I was 133 pounds. So I lost about 12 pounds. But it really wasn't about the pounds, because I'm going to tell you guys the inches, okay, and the difference in inches. When I started my waist, the program was 41 inches. So when I started the program, my waist was 41 inches. And the last measurement I took of my waist, 33 inches. Okay, guys. So that is absolutely just phenomenal. To have those kind of results where I lost that many inches just on my waist. For my hips when I started, they were 42.5 inches, and my hips when I finished was 40. So I lost 2.5 inches just on my hips. And you don't want to lose them all, right? So I got to keep what I wanted, and I got rid of what I didn't. But my waist had the biggest results, and that was such a big deal, because when I am not at a healthy weight, I get an apple shape. So that means that I have this like layer of fat all around my waist that makes me just plump all around the middle, and that's the most unhealthy fat that you can have. Like, that's the worst place to have weight, because it's you have fat around your organs, and it's really, really unhealthy. And the fact that I lost weight, that was where I lost my inches. The most inches was really, really impactful. So I was extremely, extremely happy about that, because everything, all of my clothes started to fit better. So even though I didn't lose a ton of pounds, the inches that I lost were extremely significant. For my chest, I started at 37.5 and I ended at 34.5. So just 3 inches, but that's good, because you don't want to lose them all, right? You want to, like, basically it really, really helped me to get in that shape, that healthy shape, the shape that I wanted. So overall, I think inches that I lost was, I didn't write down how many total inches that I lost, but it was definitely, I think, close to 20 inches overall that I lost from different parts of my body, my arms, my legs, waist, chest, hips. And so those results were extremely, extremely significant. And like I said, I could tell it wasn't just that, I saw the numbers going down. It was that I saw a change in my body. I would say one of the reasons why I think I had such a significant change in my body was this yellow box right here. This is your carbs, your starches, all those things. And I found out that, my body just really likes to not have too many carbs. And I went from, counting like things like corn and potatoes as a vegetable, but in the 21-day fix, you count them as a yellow, you count them as a carb. And that let me see that I really wasn't eating as many vegetables in a day as I thought I was eating. And I saw that, I used to eat a lot of bread, tons and tons of bread, lots of rice, lots of, basically my whole day would consist of pretty much yellow boxes before I started the program. And so just seeing that, the really, really significant difference in my body, in my shape, once I started to cut back on my carbs was, phenomenal. So I will say that the program for me, it was great. I love that it has reality built into it. Like, for instance, you get cheats, what they call them. And so basically what you can do is you can swap out your yellow box for a glass of wine. You can swap out your yellow box for, my swap was always chocolate covered almonds. You get 6. And let me tell you, I was cherishing them 6 chocolate covered almonds. But that's all I needed. That was enough for me. That's another thing I found out. Like just a little is enough, because before the program, if I saw I had some chocolate covered almonds, it was like I might eat, I don't know, 15, 20, probably 30. But I found out that, okay, just enough to like take that craving off was what I needed. You can swap out for lots of things, but you're always going to be swapping out your yellow box. And another thing that I found was that I had to learn how to cook. I did meal prep. A lot of times you're going to see, if you look up 21-day fix, you'll see a lot of 21-day fix meal prep things. I use these little boxes. I got these off of Amazon. This is one box. It comes with a lid. And this is another box that I use. And I got these. They were like packs of 10 each. And they weren't very much. And I will meal prep on Saturday or Sunday, and then I meal prep again on Wednesday, because I don't want to cook something on Sunday and then it stay in the refrigerator all the way till Friday or Saturday, because I think I'll get food poisoning and die. But I will meal prep on Sunday and then eat that till Wednesday, and then on Wednesday I'll meal prep for Wednesday and the rest of the week. So meal prepping is something that's really big. And the reason why I think people meal prep is because your life is busy, and the way you have to eat in order to have success, you're trying to do lifestyle change. And the way that you do lifestyle change is by having your foods ready to go so that they fit into your life. So if I knew that I was going to be out or, with the kids or something like that, then I could meal prep in that way. Another thing that was significant is that in the booklet, it tells you what sort of foods that you can have in real life. So it says, okay, we understand that you're going to go to a restaurant. Hey, if you go to a pizza place, if you have a slice of pepperoni pizza or a slice of cheese pizza, okay, it's going to count as, a yellow, a blue, and, a red if it has, meat on it or something like that. So that, that was significant because you didn't have to stop your life. And you didn't have to sit there and cry where everybody else was having pizza and you weren't. And so that was something that was really significant for me, and a change that I really like. That it fit into my life. It wasn't that this was something that I was doing and I was going to get back to my life. It became a part of my life. I would say, even though when you first see the boxes, especially when they're nested inside each other, you're going to be like, yeah, I'm going to starve and die. But I will say whenever I was actively doing around, I never, ever, ever felt hungry. Not once did I ever go to bed hungry. And not once did I feel like I wasn't satisfied. I was satisfied each and every day at the end of the day. I would wake up hungry, but you're supposed to wake up hungry because if you don't wake up hungry, that means that you probably ate too much the day before. So I would wake up hungry in the morning, but I did not go to bed hungry. Another thing that I like with the program is that it tells you how you can be successful. Like, for instance, you don't have to give up coffee. You can have coffee and tea, and it tells you how many tablespoons of sweetener you get. That's where my half tablespoon comes in, because I told you guys that my coffee I put in my nutritional shake. So my coffee went into my shake for my little mochaccino. So what I did was, if I had something like yogurt, I would use my sweetener that I would normally have put in coffee if I was just drinking a cup of coffee, because I didn't need sweetener in my shake. And so I would say, okay, I can have my plain yogurt, and then I would just use my tablespoon of sweetener for honey to go on top of my yogurt. Or I would cook salmon, and when I cooked my salmon, I would make it like honey, and I would use like honey and cayenne pepper and stuff like that. So I would take my sweeteners that were allowed in the program in my coffee, and I would say, okay, I'm not going to use it in my coffee, I'm going to use it in something else. So basically, I looked at everything that the program allowed, and then I put it where it fit in my life. So I didn't let the program run me, I ran the program. And because this was how I was going to do my life. And so that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to say, okay, if this is the change that I'm going to make in my life, this is going to be my permanent change. And so I made the program work for me. So I never went too far off the program. I would just swap some things around. The only thing that I did that was off program was that you were supposed to do only 3 swaps a week of your yellow box, and I did a daily swap because I would rather have chocolate covered almonds than rice. And so I did that. But again, I got the results that I was looking for. And in those 2 rounds, I lost. Like, if I never do another round, I'm fine. And I probably won't do a whole lot of additional rounds, but I will continue to do the exercises. I'm going to continue to follow the After the Fix meal program, which is basically me having an additional veggie, an additional fruit, and I think two more teaspoons of oil and stuff like that. So it's just kind of, it really isn't so much changing too much how I ate on the Fix when I was doing an active round. It's really more saying, okay, I can relax and not, measure that just as much. Oh yeah, another thing that I got was a little bag that came with it when I ordered it. This is one of those insulated bags. So when you take your food out, for me, that's why I meal prep, because we're on the go a lot and I can take stuff with me. Now, I told you guys I was going to talk about the good and the bad. And I would say that there are some negatives that come with it. The biggest negative for me was ordering directly from Beachbody, because they do give you a really, really hard sell. Like a really hard sell. Like, I ended up, they were like, oh, do you want an extra, case of boxes, and I'm like, oh, okay, sure, I'll get an extra case of box. Without really realizing that I'm not going to be eating in these boxes. You measure in these boxes, and then you're generally going to put what you measured onto a plate, or I put what I measure into my little food storage containers, And so I didn't need an extra box of these. I have like a dishwasher, and they are dishwasher safe, yay, refrigerator safe, all that kind of stuff. So I usually, measure my food out and then put it into the containers I'm going to use to eat. And then I'm going to clean these and put these back. So I didn't really need an extra thing of boxes. You can use a coach. I did not use a coach, and the reason why I didn't use a coach is because I felt like I might end up getting that kind of hard sell, and oh no, you have to do Shakeology and not Vega One and not this and not that, and I just didn't want to deal with it. So that was pretty much the negative for me. Was kind of the only negative was a hard sell, because even on the exercise videos, there's a commercial at the beginning of the video, and it might be a commercial for their daily vitamin. It may be a commercial for Shakeology. But before I start any exercise, there's this 30-second break where I have to listen to a Beachbody commercial. And so those really were the negatives for me. And those were the only negatives. Like I said, I love the program. I'm going to keep doing it. It was definitely something that allowed me to have good lifestyle change. But when something works, like, why the hard sell? So that was the thing that even when people ask me about the program now, I tell people, like, if you don't like a hard sell, go ahead and get it off of Amazon or whatever. Because they're gonna hard sell you. So, but like I said, I lost weight. It was easy to do. That was the biggest thing. I mean, I got really creative in my eating, much more creative. I had more fun with my food. I was able to do some really good swaps that I never would have even tried before the program. For instance, I was able to swap out, I used to really like potatoes. Like, I used to eat potatoes a lot. So mashed potatoes was something that I would eat a lot. And now I'm fine with eating mashed cauliflower in place of mashed potatoes. And I never, ever, ever would have thought that before in my life. But because, I'm out of yellows and I have some greens that I need to do this. So let me try. That was a swap that it really wasn't hard to implement in my life. Spaghetti squash in place of like wheat-based spaghetti noodles was another swap that I never even would have tried. I had never even seen really spaghetti squash before. And so I was able to make that swap, and it was not a big deal. It was not a bad thing. And so that was something that I was really, really happy with the program, that it introduced me to some new foods that I probably would not have tried otherwise. I also, learned to mix boxes and stuff like that, because I was like, I'm not just going to eat separated food all the time, because that's not going to be what's going to help me for my life. And so just being able to learn. And the biggest thing that I learned was how to cut down on my carbs a ton and increase my veggies a ton. Like things like, instead of wrapping my food in a tortilla or a taco shell, I'll use romaine lettuce wraps or something like that. Again, not something that I would have ever done before. I wouldn't have thought it was satisfying, but I was able to do that. There are also some things like you get some freebies in the program, like things like mustard's free, your spices are free, salt, like hot sauce and those things like that are free. They have some really good spice blends that they teach you how to make, and I actually started go to a spice shop, and so I've just been having really fun, really a lot of fun finding the flavors that I like and the things that I like, and jazzing things up and making things work for me and work for my lifestyle. And that has been really the biggest thing that I've gotten out of the program. Exercising and having a ton of fun exercising. I broke my toe recently, and it just drives me crazy. Not doing the exercises, I was doing something completely different, but having to take a couple weeks off from exercising has really been tough for me, because I found that I loved it, even though it was hard, even though I still can't plank for 60 seconds straight, even though I'm huffing and puffing after about 10 burpees, but I still learned that I loved it, and I felt myself getting stronger. I do know that, like with any Beachbody program, you have to remember that you are watching professionals on the screen, and you are not a professional. So don't send yourself to the hospital. I do know some people who told me that they got hurt doing the exercise program on the 21-day fix, and you can definitely, I totally see how that happens if you go full force and you are like me and you went from the couch to 21-day fix. Yeah, you don't want to, you want to follow Kat the modifier until you build it up. And look, I'm still with Kat on a lot of exercises, but I got the results. I lost weight. I lost inches. Like I said, it wasn't even just about the weight. It was really the inches. And the inches that I lost were extremely, extremely significant. I mean, to, have, a waist that was, 41 inches and end up, to 33. Like, that's a huge, huge, huge difference. And we're talking, 2 months. So we're not talking about I've done this for 6 months. I've done 2 rounds and I've taken 2 weeks off. So that's how much. And I'll have another week off just for my foot to heal a little bit more. And then I don't know if I'll do another round or if I'll go and just follow the eating program, continue to follow the eating program for after the fix, and then just add the exercises back in. We'll see. I'm happy with where I am. So if I didn't lose anything else, I'd be completely content with that. I'm sure my doctor would say that it would be fine for me to lose some more weight. But I'm happy. Being 133 pounds is good for me. I mean, I'm 40, so with 3 kids under my belt. So I think I'm good where I am. But the thing is, I'm able to maintain where I am because, like I said, I haven't been able to exercise in 2 weeks now, and I'm still maintaining where I was. I took my measurements from last week to this week. I actually lost a pound still from last week to this week, and my measurements didn't change. So I was actually, my measurements were pretty consistent from last week when I measured myself. So I'm definitely finding out that I could do this. So as a person who's not a Beachbody coach, as a person who has no financial affiliation with Beachbody, I get nothing for recommending the program. I would say that if you're looking for something that's going to help you with lifestyle change and significant body changes, I would definitely recommend the 21-day fix. If you are relatively healthy, because, it does take, the exercises are really tough. I am not even going to lie. They are extremely, extremely tough. If you have good willpower, if you are one where you will cheat yourself, then don't even try it, because if you know that something won't really fit in the box, or you doubled it and you were telling yourself that you only ate 1 yellow and it was really 2 yellows in there, then that's going to make the program a lot harder. I'm a type A personality, so I tend to be very rule based. So I was very diligent with measuring my boxes. Now I'm to the point where I can pretty much eye something and see how much of it will fit, so I don't have to use the boxes as much. But when I started, I was very diligent in the boxes. But you do get some things that's really great. I mean, being able to have a chocolate shake every single day really made me happy in my life. And I still, to this day, look forward to my mocha shake every day. Like I said, I use Vega 1. And I have no financial ties to that either, but I use that instead of Shakeology and the only reason is because it costs significantly less. But I hope this helps. Feel free to ask questions, and this is nothing against any Beachbody coach. So if you are a Beachbody coach, hey, that's great. I don't have anything against. Like I said, I was just putting this out there because most of the videos that I saw were from coaches. There's nothing wrong with it. If you want to coach Beachbody, we'll give you a coach, and I've seen interactions that people have with their coaches, and they seem to love it and get a lot out of it. I didn't want a coach just because I wanted to be able to do it on my own, because I was going for lifestyle change. I wasn't just going to lose weight. I knew that at my age and my stage in life, I was going to have to really change the way I ate if I wanted to be healthy and if I wanted to feel good in my clothes. Because I was on the verge of going up another size in clothing, and I really just couldn't do that. Because let me tell you, when you're short, you can't just go up in sizes, and so I just couldn't go up another size in clothes or anything like that. So that's really why I did the program. But you know, and they have other programs. They have 21 Day Fix Extreme. I don't have any idea how that works or how that goes. I did not do the 3-day boost or anything like that. I just did straight the 21 Day Fix. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in there. I hope this helps. This is Dr. J, and I'm out. Bye-bye.